Same passion.
Oh, would you believe it? A virtuoso strike from Dejan Kulusevski.
Same energy.
Here's Lucas Moura. Oh, they've done it! I cannot believe it!
Same love.
I want to win. I want to win the trophy, to bring success to the team, especially when you are captain and win the trophy.
Same team.
It's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are. It's who we're going to be till as long as I'm here.
Same Old Spurs.
The Same Old Spurs podcast with Majestic and Gazza.
Get behind the boys and up the Spurs.
Good evening and welcome to the SOS, the Same Old Spurs podcast. Two lifelong friends, lifelong Spurs fans, Maj and Gaz, Kevin and Anthony, and welcome. How are you guys? Yeah, I think that sums up about right. What difference a week makes? Last week
for the positive, this week for the negative, much.
It's why we're called the Same Old Spurs podcast. A lot of people criticised our podcast name when we first launched. I was so negative, so out of order.
It's factual.
It
very,
is the same
very
old.
factual.
This isn't new. Okay, we've lost at home to Ipswich Town, who hadn't had a win. Did you hear my Dr. Spurs song?
Yeah, great, mate.
We might get that
Absolutely
on during the pod.
Brilliant.
Right, okay, so we got lots of people in the comments already. We're live on YouTube, Same Old Spurs YouTube account, of course, on your podcast as normal as well. So it's going to be interaction from our YouTube followers, as well as you guys listening at home. Lots to dissect. Get involved at the Same Old Spurs pod. We're going to be talking about the defeat in the week to Galatasaray, the loss to Ipswich, and more importantly, what's going on, because there seems to be a lot of negativity right now. Evening, everybody. It's Majestic Gazza. It's SOS. That's right. It's Majestic Gazza. It's the SOS podcast. We are back for another week. And first and foremost, let's move away from Tottenham Hotspur. Let's just talk about life. You feeling good, Gaz?
I think you have to. I think you have to breathe a little bit in this situation because it's been a tough day, mate. Yeah, I'm all right, mate. On the whole, I'm all right. Obviously, there's a lot of conversation is based around our football club at the moment. How are you, mate? Because you've had a good positive result over the last couple of weeks, haven't you, when it comes to your body shape?
Yeah, the Project 365 is on. We've lost another £5.5.
That's fantastic, mate. Honestly, well done to you. And I know you're grafting, and I know it's tough. You got to dig deep, unlike that group that you played with us.
Yeah, I was in there this morning. We often see Mr. Davies in there, our old teacher.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, because his wife was a teacher at our school as well.
Yeah, all right.
For those that don't know, me and Gazza went to the same school, St. Ignatius College in Enfield, if anyone went there. And we had the PE teacher, wasn't he? Mr. Davies.
Yeah.
Big rugby fan.
Big rugby fan.
He used to almost mock us for playing football.
Tell you what, that's another group who fouled at the weekend. That England mob.
I know.
Eh? It's been an absolute disaster, mate.
But anyway, he was a big Arsenal fan as well. But when we train in David Lloyd's, we often see him. He's in there daily.
Yeah.
And he was married to Mrs. Davies, who was my first English teacher. She was in there today.
Love that.
Yeah. I think
good
it's
you didn't have a chance to say hello.
No, I was on the cross trainer going for it.
Good memories, mate. Playing games back in the day. Brilliant.
With the old, the heavy rugby jumper, the reversible black and red one.
Yeah, we weren't rugby men, were we, much?
No, but you had to wear it for cross country.
Oh, of course you do. Heavy duty stuff. Making you do cross country in it.
In the rain.
Do you know what I mean?
When that sound is a bit faint, apparently, coming from Spencer Mosloo. So we're just working on sound right now, apparently. Let us know in the comments if we're sounding all good. Listen, have a discussion in the comments as well amongst yourself while you're watching this, because there is so much to digest, so much bad energy at the moment around Tottenham. I was on air last night after the game with Alan Pardew, and you know what? He was right in what he said about, I told you, Madge, in the summer, the transfer policy did not scream of a team that want to aim for the stars. It was going for youth. It was a team looking to invest in a possible future. And lots of comments have been said about that.
I think he's spot on. Is that what he spoke about?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have a chance to catch up on his show, but the recruitment in the summer was dreadful on the whole. Let's have a look at it. Let me give him his praise from straight away. It's Dominic Solanke, because that's a player that I was praising a lot for his work off the ball. I had my doubts whether he was capable of doing a little bit with it. Yeah, he's doing well for us at the minute. Even yesterday, I thought he was very, very good. So, bar him, mate, who's improved the team? No one. You look at the money that we spent on Archie Gray. Let's just get into him, for example. He's a young lad, so I don't want to go in on him too much. But he hasn't played. He's coming. He's seen as a central midfield player. Come into the club as a central midfield player. Madge played as a fullback for Leeds last year. We've played some poor outfits in this Europa League, haven't we, Madge? He hasn't played in central midfield once. He had a little cameo against Leicester for about 20 minutes where he played in that position. He's been used as a fullback, and he's out of his depth as a fullback, Madge. Can't defend.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to get at is, and look, things can change in football, and he's developing, and he can develop, and he might develop into a good player. But we needed players for now. So back onto what Alan Pardew was saying, Madge, we needed people who can come in and do a little bit for us now. 40 million spent on the lad.
But then again, you ask yourself the question, we need something for now. Then you look at the manager that we got in, you look at the players that we're buying, this all screams a project. And we knew it was a project.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't understand why anyone is surprised that we are where we are.
The margins are very, very relevant as well, Madge.
Do you know what?
Because if you don't mind, like yesterday, it was all on the line again, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? A couple of weeks ago, all on the line could have got top 6, fouled at Palace. Yesterday, he could have got 3rd, fouled. So we're sitting in 10th, but we're still only 3 points off 3rd. There's a lot of teams around us that are obviously stuttering as well, but we're not worried about them. We've got to concentrate on our own team.
Well, this is the thing. There's so much in the comments already, which is just Spurs at the moment is exactly like how our fan base are. It's split down the middle, right?
Yeah.
See with Ange, he's not drawn a home game. It's win or lose with Ange. It's just literally win or lose, and that's what it is. And the people are like, Ange out, and then other people are trying to back him. So, you know what? We've got a bit of a script for tonight's show where we want to go. Look at the Galatasaray defeat, the Ipswich defeat. We're going to go through all of that. I just feel like, Gaz, I think we need to kind of address a few things before we even start looking into that. I think we need to really understand who we are as a football club. And you know what I really want to say? And
got a bit of arguing going on amongst
this is what I'm saying.
And I'll tell you what, that is what it was like in the stadium match.
Because people need to understand.
Toxicity.
Right, because I get the frustration from certain fans who are just, upset with what's going on at the football club and the hierarchy and how we operate as a football club, yeah? I understand that, yeah? I really do understand that. But Let's go from Pochettino. Let's just go from Poch, yeah? Poch, who got us to a Champions League final, yeah? He had a little moment where it started to go wrong for him.
Yep.
The majority of people got on him. Get him out. Right?
Yeah, he had a moment, didn't he?
Poor form. Get him out, yeah?
Yeah.
You get Jose Mourinho in, a guy that wins trophies. Oh, he's not good enough. His football's not good enough for this football club. He gets to a cup final. They sack him before a cup final.
Mental.
Which is clearly to do with saving money because he would have been on win bonuses, right? Then you go, okay, Jose, we go for Nuno, yeah? Who's doing brilliant at Forest at the moment and had a good spell at Wolverhampton Wanderers. Manager of the month in the first month, gets sacked, 2 months later? And then we go, okay, cool, we've got Conte. Conte comes in, one of the best managers in the world, yeah?
Yeah.
And he gets us to 4th with that squad, yeah? That moment he had at Southampton where he called out the club, right? And he was like, yo, these people are weak and it's not good. And, the mentality, they don't want to play under pressure and all this kind of stuff, right? As soon as he did that, the fan base was like, he's got to go. He's calling it for what it is.
Well, I think you look at our manager at the minute and because there's people saying that he's not, he doesn't seem too passionate on the side. I'm looking at his interviews post-match. Tough ask for him to come out and have to talk about that group, isn't it, Madge?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's doing his best to not let loose and let fly, but he's really holding himself back. But you look at it, like I said, there's a different opinion and a different take. And you know what? You're not wrong. If you've got a say on Daniel Levy, there's an argument for it. If you've got a say on the players, there's an argument for it. If you've got a little opinion on the manager, there's an argument for it. It's really difficult to be wrong in this situation.
My next question is, right, the fan base and us and our expectations. Why do we think, as Tottenham Hotspur fans, we have this God-given right to dine at the top table? Why? Guys, tell me why. Tell me why. We do.
Look, we've spoke about tier systems before on previous podcasts. We're not a tier 1 club from...
No way.
No way. But what I will say is that we should be better than what we saw yesterday. We should.
Why though?
Because we're better than that, Madge. We've got better.
But why?
What? Because we're playing. I'll tell you why. Because Ipswich Town have not won a football game all season.
Mm-hmm.
They've just come up from the Championship.
Yeah.
This is a team in Tottenham who have been playing European football, whether it be Champions League, Europa League, or Conference League, for a long period of time. We've got better football players than them in front of a 60,000 seater stadium. You've got to demand more from the group. I understand where you're coming from, but there's levels to it. We are better than Ipswich Town Football Club. You've got to turn up.
Arsenal are better than Bournemouth.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that like the actual where Ipswich Town are going to have a chance in games is if the opposition that they're coming up against, i.e. the top opposition or the so-called better opposition, are not quite at it from the get-go. What I mean by that is having the fire, the desire, the passion.
Like when they played Liverpool, but Liverpool eventually beat them, like on the first day of the season.
We lacked that match from minute one yesterday. We lacked it at Crystal Palace, and that's something that I can't accept. I can't accept that, mate. So I understand what you're saying, that Tottenham, we haven't got no demand.
Let's go back again to what you said. The recruitment was poor. No one's improved our team.
Yeah.
So then expect what we got. Because we didn't improve our team.
Yeah, but you hear a lot of Spurs fans and a lot of people saying to me how good Archie Gray is. You hear a lot of you've been one of them saying Dragusin's good.
Oh, well, Dragusin, I'm with you on Dragusin.
Come on,
you were right on that, mate. He's terrible.
What I'm just saying is that like, I'm not. Like, by the way, I'm in that. I had a little question marks on Solanke. We've had chats off air and stuff like that. So what I'm saying, it's all relevant. You know what I mean? It's all relevant. So, I can't accept Tottenham Hotspur though. That application yesterday, mate. And we've had a chat about, you can't pick and choose your games. Yeah. I think we've got a very, very complacent group that are very soft, and I think there's a lot of them that think they're better than what they are. I genuinely do think that. You think you can turn up the football matches and just go through the motions, not necessarily go through the motions, but just think you're going to get a positive outcome. Nah, mate. It's not going to happen. You need to go through it, mate. From second one of that football game, Tottenham were miles off it.
I think there might be some stream issues going on with the online. But if you're listening to us, don't worry, it's all good. Are you sure you're on the Wi-Fi, Lou? Not the studio Wi-Fi. It's okay. All right. So if you are watching us on YouTube, the audio is good, but the video is not great. So as long as you can hear us, it's all good. What I am getting a bit sick of is, like Simon, for example. Simon, I really appreciate you being a part of this, by the way, and you're very welcome, and you're welcome to your opinion. But sick of dumb fans. Like, let's stop calling each other names. I know it's bad, guys, like, in terms of it's frustrating. But, like, if you don't think the same as me, you're dumb. We said this the other week on the podcast. This is no different to politics. Oh, my God, you voted Trump. You're an idiot. Oh, you like Kamala. You're an idiot. No, it's called differences of opinions. And the fact of the matter is...
You can run with... I just said it, man. Sorry to come in, but you can run with any angle at the minute. There's a case for it all.
Yeah, because at the moment... At the moment... The league is in a really strange place, for one. It looks like the Championship. It's so tight from top to bottom.
3 points off third, man.
Rakesh is absolutely right. He says we are 6 in giving wages to players. Anything above 6 is a bonus for us. This is what I'm saying. If you are operating in a sense of financial implications where your wages are capped, for example, apparently we went in for Conor Gallagher and it was about wages. Eze, the same thing. Remember when we went to go and get Jack Grealish and we didn't give the right money and all that kind of stuff? If we operate, we didn't want to pay extra 6 million. We offered something about... Josh Onama and about.
So I agree with you there. So then, but this is where I have an issue with how the managers had a little stance on.
Can I just before you jump in there? My qualm with Big Ange is as simple as this. Yeah, I want to give him time.
Yeah,
I'm still behind him.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I expect you to adapt.
Yeah,
and have a look at things and going right. Our set pieces are a mess. Let's sort that. Right. Our defence is a mess. That first goal at Ipswich, Dragusin is on the left-hand side. Yeah. And then the player has enough time to do an overhead kick. So this is why I'm saying, like, putting about, the fact of the matter is, by the way, Simon, your opinion is not fact. Opinions are not fact. Like,
anyway.
No, but what I'm saying is...
you know what, I agree.
I'm glad, I knew we'd have a spicy podcast tonight, and I'm glad. And thank you to Simon, Paige, Nick King, who's with us tonight. Your dad's here. Mate, everyone is getting involved.
I think he's...
You know what the key factor to remember is here. We all care. That is why. And some of us care too much.
Mate, you can go deeper with this conversation. I struggle to find any manager out there, bar a couple, Klopp, maybe Guardiola, maybe a couple of others, that can tap into the modern day group. I'm looking at that group. You look at who else could tap into that Spurs group at the minute. And like, so what I mean by that is like put an end to them types of results yesterday. I really struggle. Who else is out there? Who else is out there who's going to tap into that? Who's going to stop these results? This, by the way, get used to this, Spurs fans, because this is going to be ongoing for the season. The only way the only way you can do a little bit about it, Madge. Again, you have to throw money at something. That's this club notoriously has not done at key times. What I will say is, as well, is like you're talking about defending. You're looking at Dragusin. You're looking at the fullbacks that we've got at the minute. By the way, who we have spoken about very like great fashion at times about the fullbacks, the ability to go forward. Mate, one of the oldest sayings in football when it comes to a fullback is what?
Oh, defend first.
Stop the cross.
Yeah, stop the cross.
I'll tell you one thing, they can't stop a cross, Madge. You can have a field day going down the outside of these boys. Porro got absolutely destroyed yesterday.
But we also know that Porro, we had this discussion when Emerson Royale was there. He's a wing-back.
Yeah.
He's a wing-back. He's not good enough as a... Ricky said lagging like Spurs the stream.
Again, you got but what it is as well though, what's it about? There's so many managers again who are hell-bent on their own brand Ange ball, yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's a style of play that he's going to live and die by, and it's who we are. It's who we are. Like, do you know what I mean? You've got to have fullbacks who can defend, Madge. We look like so shaky at the back, Madge.
Simon says people have stuck their neck out on Ange and admit he's been found out and he's out of his depth. It's not even about that. So one thing I really dislike is there seems to be a right hate campaign for Ange for the people that aren't really into him. You know, calling him names and that. You know, really diminishing his achievements as a football manager internationally. Yeah, okay. The Scottish League is nowhere near the Premier League. Yeah, Japan, Australia, etc. All of that. But at the end of the day, wherever you are, you've got to win something. So this guy comes along with this idea and he sense that he's a winner, wants to instill a winning mentality. He's done a lot of things wrong, in my opinion. The way that he talked about the fans when we wanted to lose to Man City, because he didn't get it, you know, saying that the North London derby is another game. He's made mistakes. But why, as a football club, do we not give anybody the ability or the chance to go, oh, I've messed up, let me go again? We don't.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. The trouble that I've got, Madge, a little bit with the manager, I'm not Ange out, far from it, but what I have got a little bit of an issue is, and if you're at a hierarchy and you're looking at this point, you'll be thinking, Brighton, the turnaround at Brighton, you can go probably before. Leicester should have got the result, Newcastle, the Brighton one, more recently the Crystal Palace, and yesterday. There will be a post-mortem carried out collectively as a club after them events, yeah? There'll be a post-mortem carried out by all of the coaching staff. All the videos will be on display, where we went wrong, what we need to do better. The rallying cries keeps happening. That's a problem. That is a big, big problem. Like, and I'm looking at that from an owner's point of view. By the way, you can criticise them. You'll be all night, Madge, talking about them if we're talking about them as well. But that's a problem for me because it's ongoing. Are you tapping into this group? Questionable.
But as I said before, right, the thing about the Premier League, Nottingham Forest are flying high, Brighton are flying high, all these kind of things. The level of the Premier League has gone up.
Yeah, that's
100%, right? Yeah. And you can lose any game in the Premier League. Now, this isn't new, and this is what I wanted to say to people is this isn't new. You know, when we go in to try and even when we were, say, second and third place, and you're going for it against Leicester, we lost to Southampton at home in that season. Yeah, right.
Madge, what's the leveller? Between what is the leveller? There is fit as you. That's the leveller. That these teams down the bottom will be as fit as the teams at the top.
Yeah, but again, back to my problem with Ange is the idea of being stubborn and doing this style. Kieran McKenna is a great manager, by the way, right? He would have looked at Spurs and said, guys, if we're resilient with our back line, Spurs will give us opportunities. When we get the opportunities, if we take them, then we got a chance.
Do you think that this Ange ball is as open as what it has been in the past? I don't think it is.
No, but again, I just think the players...
I don't think it's as open at the moment as it has been at times in the past. Whether that's been a tweak from the manager, not too sure. But I'm not seeing Porro as inverted he was at times. Not at all. A Dougie.
I just, I'd like, for example, and as I said last week, he's a very rude, arrogant man, and his nice guy personas drop the mask and slip. Simon, I don't think that he's arrogant. I think he doesn't deal with the press very well. He doesn't seem to like talking to people. I know that, like myself. You can see himself. He looks down to the
boys
floor.
for getting a stream going. Have you got it going?
He
Unbelievable, Jeff. How many minutes? We're in 15. Well done, Sam.
But again, your dad's there, right? And he says that was Ipswich yesterday. No excuse whatsoever with that side. I just don't understand. See that attitude that we have. I'm not saying it's your dad, right?
No,
but
you can
the
bring it up.
attitude of we expect to win every single football game. Why? We're not Manchester City.
No, you got to be Ipswich, mate. You can't. Come on.
But why? Why?
Because, you know why? But you know what it is? Because if you do the basics right, i.e. turn up and put a shift in, put the press on, high in the press, fast in the press, show that desire, Madge. We've got more ability than them. Bundles more ability. But we didn't do what was...
Who's got more ability, Brighton or Man City?
We didn't... No, what I'm saying, we didn't do the basic fundamentals.
Yeah,
that game again yesterday.
But who's got more ability, the Brighton players or the Manchester City players?
Yeah, look, there will be
Bournemouth or Arsenal.
There will be situations you can put on it, but we're talking about our football club. It's ongoing. These things keep happening.
Yeah, but
Crystal Palace haven't won a football game. Played Tottenham, win. Yesterday, Ipswich ain't won a game. Played Tottenham.
Yeah,
win.
that's the Dr. Spurs banter.
That's a problem.
Yeah, but that's the Dr. Spurs banter.
Dr. Spurs or not, mate, it's not acceptable. Like, we are better than that. We're not the cream. We're far from the cream, but we're better than that. And we should expect more. I think it's too easy as a fan to let the players off with that one match just by saying there's no easy games and all that, etc. What gives us the right to beat Ipswich? It's almost like an out for them.
It's not an out.
I'm not accepting that.
I just don't understand why and this is why other fans hate us, right? Is our sense of entitlement, yeah? The last time we won a league was in black and white.
No, I think there's a level to it. I think sense of entitlement about winning trophies, placements in the league, I get that, but Crystal Palace and Ipswich.
Right. Have you?
Different
okay,
chat.
but because obviously of my job, I have to follow most of the teams and the games. Have you watched much Ipswich this season? Right.
Yeah, they've been unlucky.
They've been unlucky.
The boy up front has actually scored a load of goals as well. I thought it was a threat yesterday.
So they've been so unlucky, right? And it was going to come for them. The same way with Crystal Palace.
But they're still going to be in a relegation fight.
Yeah, absolutely. But we've lost to teams in the bottom three before. This is not uncommon for Spurs to do that. Spurs can go and beat AC Milan.
The whole rallying thing at half-time, Madge, is becoming a joke for me. I said it last week. You're actually having conversations in the ground with people and they're saying, if we get one after half-time, we get it. We turn it back. It's embarrassing, Madge. Honestly, it really, really is embarrassing. Like, how can you just turn a switch on?
Right.
You're having a little chat you're having a little 10-minute chat. We had a joke about the hand-peeled oranges being handed out. You have a little chat. They're all fresh. They put the towels around them. A bit cold out there. You come out and get a shift out of them. What is that all about? What is that all about, mate? You know what I mean? The modern day player. I'm not being funny as well. James Maddison. I'm his biggest fan. But I'll tell you one thing, he's been left out of games. He's been pulled off in games. He's been, the one in the Europa League, pulled off in the week as well, Madge. You know when he come on the football pitch, you know one thing, it reminded me. I played a football game, rubbish level, right, for the school in a cup final, Cove. We were 6-0 up. I was on the sideline. He brought me on for the last 10 minutes. Weren't interested. And I looked at James Maddison yesterday there, and it was almost like, I'm sub today. Don't be looking for me to be turning it around for you. And he strikes me as that type of character, Madge. When it's going well for him, loves it, lap it up. When it's a little bit in a tough time for him, shies away. That's a guy that should be demanding the football, Madge. Didn't want it yesterday. Way too deep. Didn't put the shift in. That's a problem for me.
That brings on to a good topic, because difference to that, you know, that start of last season when we won those 10 games in a row or whatever else, yeah? He knew he's starting 11. He don't know he's starting 11 at the moment. No. And I think playing the extra games in Europe and that, etc., have then made that even more difficult for him to balance the squad. Because I think the team that came on against Galatasaray towards the end when we were down to 10 men, that actually looked quite good. Like Bentancur was playing well, Basuma was playing well. I think that is one of his big problems. You know, Kulu now dropping into sort of a number 10 role, trying to play two number 10s. He doesn't know his best midfield. And the problems are when people break against us, they run just straight through the centre and then go wide. That's what happens.
Mate, look, also what he's done by playing the one way, the Ange way, when we talk about the adaptability within players, what I mean by that is when you go after certain players and you select certain players to play the way that you want to play, I don't see Brennan Johnson being capable of being able to play any other way.
How old's Brennan Johnson?
He plays on the right-hand side, 22, 23.
22.
He plays on the
You know what?
He plays on the right-hand side there, Madge. Where else could he play?
I'm not going to scapegoat.
No, I'm not. I'm not
Johnson.
using him as an example. But what I'm saying is he's a runner. He's a runner. Get it wide to him, get the cross in, get Solanke to finish off the end of the move. If that ain't working for you, he ain't got the ability to be able to adapt and show a different side of his game. It's not there, Madge. It's like Timo Werner. He's a one-trick pony. He comes on, left-hand side, beats his man, looks for the cross, left-footed across. They haven't got the tools in the bag, these players. I looked at like Brennan Johnson. I'm not making him a scapegoat, but I looked on Twitter there and somebody described him as this. He can't cross to save his life, can't beat a man, turns off when defending, disappears for large parts of every match, but does get a few back post tap-ins so people think he's class.
Again, who's put that? A Spurs fan?
No, I'm just saying that's an opinion on it.
But that's just, this
That
is what I'm
is an
saying.
opinion on
See
it,
the
of the
toxicity
player.
of our
It is,
football
it's
club
flying
right
around.
now.
And I'm just giving you an opinion.
Yeah, but
on
that's what I'm saying.
of
The
a player.
opinion is ridiculous. A 23-year-old who's been bought from Nottingham Forest, who's gone upper level in playing for a team.
I don't think he's capable of playing in too many different
But
styles
but
of play.
again, back to what I said. What
I
Pard-
don't. Do you agree with me there or
No,
not?
but what Pardew said
You've watched the
yesterday.
boy though enough.
Who?
To Brennan Johnson, and we're just talking about him. By the way, we'll get on to other
But
players.
if you want to be a top 6 team, Brendan Johnson should not be starting for you. That's the fact of the matter. So it comes back to the recruitment, and the recruitment is what it is.
But we'll go back to what I said. I wanted to say about the manager when we talked about recruitment there. Yeah, I'm just using Brendan Johnson as an example. £50 million, right? Ange Postecoglou. My dealings with Daniel at the club. I haven't changed from the moment I took on this task. I know what ambitions I have for this football club, and there's been nothing here that I feel has curtailed me in achieving what I want to for this football club. A lot of that is in my own power. I control a lot of that. The rest of it is trying to get people along for the ride and to believe in what we're trying to do. So what I'm saying is you're owning the players that are coming in. You're owning that side of things. Is that you are putting your hand up and going, no, the buck stops with me. I'm responsible. I'll make the calls. I have the final say. So when it's not quite working out for you and players are underperforming that have come in, you got to own that one. That's on him.
Yeah, but
I look to him completely for that.
Yeah, but then again, if he wanted somebody else and he couldn't get them in, right? For example, then there's our policy, our club policy.
That's a problem. Yeah.
Mate, do you know how much money Mickey Vacken defends on?
But
It's
why be
incredible.
so? Why
He's
be
on about 30 grand a
Why
week.
be so vocal then? Why be so vocal? Dragusin's on what?
Dragous's 22.
22
we
grand
have
a
a
week.
young squad.
22 years old. Bloody hell.
Right, okay. So let's talk to our viewers tonight who've been brilliant getting involved. George, this is another thing that really bugs me a little. George, thanks for getting involved, mate. So Johnson isn't a scapegoat. He's just not good enough.
Agreed.
Good enough for what? What are we doing here at Spurs? Good enough for, are we in the Champions League? Are we a Champions League playing team right now?
No, we're in Europa League.
Exactly.
That's a good competition for football.
Is he good enough to be part of a Europa League squad?
Look, you know what? We're just talking about Brennan Johnson. Like
No, but
because
there's
I
so
don't want to
much-
get. It's not just him.
But what I'm saying is, we are not Manchester City. We are not Liverpool. We are not even Arsenal.
Mate,
we are not
do you
even
know what-
Chelsea.
Do you know what else? I'll go one. I can go one further with Brennan Johnson, mate. You know, defensively exposed of him there, big time. He's not capable, mate, going backwards. He doesn't do it. He doesn't put the hard yards in. He hasn't got enough. You saw for the goal. Complacent in that defending. Just thought, nothing will happen there. Goals in the back of the net, reeled away. Ipswich. Honestly, I feel that. And look, I'm going to stop talking about Brennan Johnson. He's just one example. Look, Timo Werner. Another one the club went with. Back around to what you were saying, Madge, about other targets didn't go after him. He shouldn't be playing for Tottenham. I saw him come on yesterday. And do you know what? It's creating so much toxicity down
really
there
is.
when he comes on. And when he don't quite go for him, the boos are going round. What's he doing? He's on the pitch. He's
Friend of the show, Chris Cowling's with us. Hello, Chris. Hope you're well, mate. Johnson isn't a conference level player. I think do you mean Europa Conference,
Yeah,
George?
Europa.
He's a championship player. I'm not having that he's a championship player. He is a young man, who's got a lot more to learn, right? And has moments where he looks good, but he is young. He's still learning, right? This is the other thing that I really want to understand is, he's not good enough to play for Spurs. Ange isn't good enough to manage us. Who is? We had Conte in. Still, that wasn't enough.
Mate,
this fan base will never be happy, ever.
We had an opportunity, I think, that we could have. I'm hard about the Neto situation. You see the goal he got at the weekend.
Wages. Again.
Yeah.
Wages.
Well, that's a problem then. So,
And it all comes back down to one thing. Wages comes back round
but
to
when
what?
you're buying players that can only play one way, Madge, they can. Like for me, Brennan Johnson he's a runner. He's a runner who's quick and he can get across, get a ball in across the box for someone to finish off. That's it. There ain't too much to his game other than that. Mate, he don't influence football matches at all. And look, we keep talking about him. I'm not going on about him, but looking at it, I'm seeing like Dragusin at centre half. There's a switch up to the defence there because that's a problem. we spoke about Dragusin and Ben Davis last week, Ben Davis especially. I think Ben Davis is someone that can come on and give you 25 minutes, 30 minutes in a game when you're up and do a little professional job there, do a pro role, 20, 30-minute game. When you see him start against the elite, saw it against Victor Osimhen, him in the week, big problem.
Yeah.
With Dragusin. That's an area Tottenham didn't strengthen on in the window. The goalkeeper match.
Hang about, but we bought him. He's just not good enough.
Who?
Dragusin.
Yeah, we weren't in the road. Yeah, okay, fair enough. But I think that we needed more cover. But we were relying on Ben Davis as your fourth choice centre-back. There's four there. We should have gone again, Madge. Should have been Dragusin and another. Ben Davis is not going to be at Tottenham beyond this season. So Tottenham are going to need another centre-half. Should have gone again then. You're looking at the backup goalkeeper. We haven't got a backup goalkeeper. Why is Fraser Forster in goal still?
Right.
We haven't bought in no fullbacks.
It all comes back down to one thing and one thing only: money, the way the clubs run, and the fact that we still, again, the lovely stadium where the Imagine Dragons are playing and whoever else, and the F1 go-karts, right? That costs money, right? There was, George said there, look, 45 million on Gray, 30 plus on Odegaard, Eze waiting for someone to get in for 60.
Odegaard's been a disappointing one,
right.
isn't it, Madge? Because
Wasted
in
opportunity.
a game like that yesterday, like when you're playing against Ipswich, you'd like to think, okay, Odegaard, is he a player that's going to be able to do a little bit for you against the top teams? Question marks, because we haven't seen him enough. But I'd like to think he'd be able to do a little bit at home against Ipswich. He's not around. He's not been fit. You know what I mean? He's been injured since we come in. So that's a little bit of hard luck that's coming this hit us. You know what I mean? You're hoping he was going to come in and do a little bit for you. So that's been difficult for us. You know what I mean? And the manager there.
But I just think, and I'm looking at it, and it's just, our chat tonight's been fantastic. Thank you so much for watching us on YouTube. If you are watching us on YouTube right now, please press subscribe. Let's grow the channel further and further, because these debates are going to rage on. It's in there. Look, people are talking about the recruitment and the hierarchy. That's what it all comes down to. And, the end of the day, I said this on air last night. Now, my thing is, we can all scream for the hierarchy to leave the club, etc., and we can go and protest and whatever else. Yeah, the guy runs the club. That's his club. Yeah, if you are renting a flat from someone and that's the landlord, how do you get rid of the landlord?
Yeah,
how do you get rid of the landlord? You go. He looks at, I own this. Shut up. Like, that's why, screaming and shouting about Levy and Enoch out and stuff. What can we do? People will say, stop buying stuff, stop going to the games, let's protest, whatever else. Their argument to us is...
Mate, we're struggling. Fans are struggling to cope with just losing a couple of games at the minute. We could have gone third yesterday. Could you imagine if we start boycotting games? You'll be losing a hell of a lot of football games.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? If you take it to them extremes, look, it's very much... You know what is funny? Because all Spurs fans, when it was Ange, it was almost like this is a project. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head at the beginning. You've got to have patience in a project, Madge. Yeah, but patience don't exist in football. Genuinely feel that. And the same fans that will be saying, "Oh, it's a project," will be the same fans that will be saying, "Nah, he's got to go. He's got to go now because he just can't take it." No one likes losing football games. No one likes the pain that you have to endure and what a negative outcome of a football match gives you. It affects a lot of people's lives. I think you've got an ability, a capability, because you're a very busy person as well, which helps, to be able to switch off at times, Madge.
Absolutely.
I've found it extremely difficult today.
Well, I'm going to remind you.
No. And by the way, that's how you need to be, how you are. Yeah? But you've got that ability to do it. You can do it. Others can't do it. They go week in, week out, and it is their livelihood. It is their lives. Whether it's sad or not, it's
get
the
yourself
reality. It's
down
tough.
the gym. Have a
I'm
workout.
sure people still go to the gym.
Have a workout.
I'll tell you
There
one
you go.
thing. I speak to a lot of people on our socials, as you can imagine. A lot of fit lads out there physically. Big issues, mate. Football does affect you.
But what I'm saying is, guys and ladies and girls and gentlemen, you have no control over this. You have no control over what Ange does or what Levy does.
True.
These are people playing at the weekend for a lot of money. Do you think any of those lads that lost to Ipswich yesterday are sat round the table now, deep in it? No, they don't care. You know what I'm saying? This is how I can turn off because, the thing is, with a few good performances, it's the hope. Page Dog's absolutely right. Yeah, it's the hope that kills you because Spurs, we've gone up gears and we've gone further on. I think we have the most unrealistic fan base in the football, and now I understand why a lot of clubs hate us.
Yeah, I'm not in that camp with you at the minute. I understand what you mean.
Mate.
When it comes, I don't think it's unrealistic for Tottenham.
Well, unrealistic.
I don't think it's unrealistic.
Okay, I'm going
I'll just give you. We've had this chat already on this podcast. I'm not going to keep going on it, but I don't think it's unrealistic for Tottenham fans to expect, after beating Manchester City and Aston Villa, to beat an Ipswich side who are rock bottom of the table, to beat them teams. I don't think that's a lot. I don't think that's a lot to expect.
Let me ask you a question.
I think it's a lot to expect Tottenham to get to be in the top 4 and to necessarily think you're going to win a trophy. Yeah, that's a different one. But Palace and Ipswich, yeah, definitely.
Let me ask you this then. Going into Ipswich game at the weekend, right? Was there any part of you that thought we'd lose?
Yeah.
There you go. Then.
Do you know why though? That's not necessarily. That's based on being a Spurs fan over the years.
There you go. You just answered the question.
Yeah, but I'm on about like
you just answered the question.
Naturally would think
No. If you go into that game and you're like, we're winning this, whatever, 100%, right? As Spurs fans, right? We know that going.
But that's different. Like that's different to having a feeling and think that you having an entitlement. Like it isn't like everyone there. At the end of the day, Spurs should have beat Ipswich yesterday. But because of what I've seen under Conte and I've seen under Pochettino at the end and I've seen under Mourinho when we was at the TalkSport studios watching Spurs get spun from being 2 goals up, it's ongoing, mate. It's the history, it's the DNA that makes you think that way, man.
Well, again, someone just on here said, Ricky Jackson said, West Ham fans are worse than us. No, because of what happened with them and their success with David Moyes, it's led them to be in a position that they're now looking at and going, uh-oh, what have we done? Because David Moyes and West Ham was always, with David Moyes, almost in a bit of a false position because, he's done such a good job with them. They got into a point thinking, the football was so much better. What did you think of the game yesterday? You had a chance first half we were terrible.
Poor, wasn't it?
Terrible.
Do you know what I mean? And I just think that it was a struggle. Fair play to Ipswich.
Ipswich came.
Do you know what they done as well? Like they won the first ball, won the second ball.
Right.
You know what I mean? Tottenham didn't pick up the second ball enough. Far from it. You know what? When you're in the ground as well, there's become a sense that like when we score and we get it back and Bentancur gets the header, fantastic header. It's like we're coming back. Never really looked like doing it. And I thought that we're in the ground as well. We got frustrated with Aston Villa, didn't we, Madge, for killing the game. Yeah, we did, because I think Aston Villa are better than that and they got better players than that. But Ipswich Town there, everyone booing them there. Like, do you know what I mean? What do you expect? They haven't won a football match. They're not going to roll over and give it to Tottenham, are they?
No.
And what they did is yesterday, when Spurs had a little bit of momentum at times, they killed the game by someone going down and they saw it out. Tottenham didn't really create enough in that second half to do it to win the game. Didn't deserve to get anything from it.
Richard said, trust me, every fan base is like this. Stop digging at other fans after says Simon you shouldn't do it. Now, I'm not digging at other fans. I'm saying we have some delusions of grandeur, and this is why other people sometimes get young with us. Simon said, come on, Kev, they haven't won a Premier League game for 22 years, and the last time we'd played them in the Premier League, what happened?
Yeah, look,
what happened last time?
I was just looking at a comment there from Will Marriott there.
What happened when we played Ipswich last time at home in the Premier League?
I'm not too sure.
We lost.
Yeah, mate, this is what I'm saying. And it's them types of results that make you think outcomes like yesterday are possible. I just see one there about Will mentioning about Brennan Johnson about 2 weeks ago. He's the best thing since sliced bread, and now he's a poor player. No, I'm just saying that when things are not quite happening on a football pitch, he hasn't really got the tools in his bag to be able to adapt and get a little bit more out of him, mate. He's very, very good at finishing off moves, as we've seen on the end of it. And that's all part of the way that we're trying to play, by the way. But his general play, questions with it. But as I said, he's just one.
Yeah. Okay, so what we like, I like the SSU. Half of was saying the most here. Big up to Richard. What I like is solutions. When there's problems, I want solutions, yeah? Okay. So what is the solution here? Okay, so let's just ask the guys and girls who are on the YouTube, especially people like Simon, who's massively Ange out, and that's absolutely fine. You're entitled to that opinion. Ange goes tomorrow. Who comes in? I'll tell you who's still there. I'll tell you who stayed there the whole time. Ryan Mason's still got a job.
Oh, of course he is, yeah. Look, I think it's a great shout. And if you clip it up from last week, I think we had that piece, didn't we? Exactly that. If you're Ange out, who comes in? Madge. You know what? You know when we talk about people as well, the managers that are managing at the top end of the Premier League now, the Manchester United job. They've taken a punt on a man at Sporting Lisbon.
Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong. Great little win against Pep's team, Manchester City. Huge win. Done a great job there.
We beat them as well.
Massive risk. Biggest football club in the world, match.
Yeah.
He's managed in the Portuguese league. Yeah? Not operated at the top level of football for any period of time at all. Chelsea, biggest spending team probably at the minute. Maresca brought a team up from the Championship last year. Yeah, Spurs gone with someone who's managing the Scottish League, Australian football, free powerhouse of football. Arnie Slot, a manager who's managing the Dutch league,
Who we looked at.
biggest club in one of the biggest clubs in the world. It's all of the top teams, mate.
And
do you know what?
When
Are
we,
out there,
when we looked at Arnie
what
Slot,
managers are out there?
when we looked at Arnie Slot, everyone turned their nose up. So many people I spoke to, I was like, nah.
There ain't a lot out there, mate.
No, there
and
isn't.
do you know what? For Spurs, I think that it's just we've got a group there a little bit soft. I would like to have thought that we weren't going to see too many of them types of performances again yesterday. You're hoping that the buck's going to stop, the trend's going to stop, them types of outcomes are not going to be a possibility. Unfortunately, it seems to be ongoing. How do you eradicate that? How do you change that? Well, you've got to try and get on board with the players. You've got to try and get into the mindset of the players. Can you change things? I think we need a little bit of help in the market match. I really do think so.
But the issue is,
will we go again? Because you know about projects, Madge. You know what? You know what you are. You're a businessman, yeah, Madge, as well as.
All right, okay. So I was going to come in here because this is brilliant. Richard Knight, if he goes, Alonso for me, go and get him. Why is Alonso coming to Tottenham?
Yeah,
Why? Like, this is what I'm saying about.
You know what it is. You know what as well, though. Just to comment on, nice a little bit going off tangent there, but you know you're a businessman, yeah, Madge.
Yes.
You are, right? There's projects that you've had. You've had many projects. What do you have to throw out projects, Madge?
Patience.
Yeah.
Right, for one. Takes a long time.
Yeah, of course.
Let's throw it.
You have to throw a bit of investment there as well, though, don't you,
Investment
Madge?
comes.
So if you're going to back the manager and put it under the big, it's a project.
But first and
let's
foremost,
see what we do in January.
First and foremost, yeah, right. The patience. It's a great topic you brought up, mate. Right, because let's look at our podcast for example. I remember when we started our podcast.
Yeah.
And it's like we had 200 listeners, and I remember talking to you, and you went, "Someone said that's not very good," and I was like, "Mate, we've just started." I'm like, "Don't worry about anything else. We've just started, right?" And it's like, but as you said, there's been investment, right? But more so than that, patience.
Yes.
And we've had ups and downs doing our podcast. We've had moments where it's been a bit on and off. We've not been here every week. You know what I mean? It's just, this is what happens. And the other thing that we have to really look at and understand is the Premier League right now is the most competitive league ever. Because let's go through those teams.
Desperate for point match. I've had a little thing with you in the past about that, and I've like questioned maybe, but you've always said that. You've always said that. I'll give you the thing there. You've always said about and that is what my point is. You can't afford to be complacent.
No, and I agree with that.
And I think we've got a complacent group, Madge.
Yeah.
I genuinely do. I think not all of them, but I think there's a few of them in there that think they're better than what they are, and they think they can just turn up and we get the 3 points. Nah, not happening. As I said numerous times.
Simon's talking about Graham Potter. The geezer went to Chelsea.
What guarantees has Graham Potter got, based on what he's done as a football manager, that he is going to come in and be a success at Tottenham? Absolutely none. Like, that is the answer to that one. Like, and that is it in reality. And that comes down with all of the ones we'd be linked with. Mate, you could go after the A-star manager who would be available at the moment. With this group, it comes with absolutely no
100%.
guarantees. I'm telling you, mate. Because you know what, in football, I think, and even when we used to play at the school, there'll be people you can turn to on a football pitch, and I've done it, and go, come on in, let's go.
Yeah.
And then people will react for you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, there'll be some of them on there who they'll just go into their shell, mate. They don't turn it around for you. They might have a bit more ability on the football, though, than you. Them boys, but I'll tell you one thing, there's a good chance that they're not going to be able to react, that do a bit for you. And I think we got a few of them at Spurs.
Yeah, really, but again, we said it before, and a lot of people said, "Oh, he just threw his arms in the air and did nothing." Højbjerg was a leader, mate.
Yeah, we ain't got none. No, I don't think they exist in the modern day.
I agree with you on that.
I don't think they exist in the modern day. It's unfortunately, it seems to be a thing at the minute. What Tottenham did get right on a positive, and I know just to jump off football, but I do think that they the remembrance, Remembrance Sunday yesterday, really, really good.
What, over Spurs?
Fantastic. And you know what? Spurs, they do everything A-style, don't they, apart from on the pitch. You know what I mean? They got they got the conscience. They get it wrong with up the prawn sandwich grade, but that was high class, mate.
Oh, it's good to hear.
That was top draw.
I must say as well, my son goes to Bowes Soccer School on a Sunday, and you know they're only young lads, aren't they? And they made all the groups stop. They got into the centre circle, put their arms around each other, and acknowledged the silence, which was fantastic as well. And I think, you know,
love that match. Yeah. Very important. Like,
it's so important to talk about that.
Very important.
Know, especially to come away from how much energy we're taking up on football at the moment, like things that are far more important in life. And seeing that and seeing it respected nicely, brilliant. Especially in this day and age of us like
you've seen in the Scottish League, you know what I mean? What's going on? You know what I mean? They don't. It's big hatred up there, mate. You know what I mean? Catholics, Protestants, a big issue up there. But yeah, look, man, I think that
listen, it's a great discussion, right?
Madge.
And I just, as I said before, I wanted to on the podcast, and I said it in the gym earlier to Will, to Statman. I was like, tonight I want to come on the podcast and I want to understand, right, from our fan base and our good friends and SOS fam here, what do we expect Tottenham to be, right? We are operating with a top 10 attitude, so we will get those results. Like you said, when Eze is having a chat with Son and Maddison after the game, and you don't go get him. Now I'll tell you something.
It's a problem.
I'll tell you something now.
All the Levy out people as well. Like, you look at situations like that. You know what I mean? I'm seeing Eze there. Was he at the Ralph Lauren thing? Or got all the gear on with Sonny sitting next to him, thinking that's a shoe-in.
But
he's at Tottenham here.
He's injured. So knowing our luck, we would have bought him and he would have got injured.
Probably.
And he's been poor this season.
The one game
as well.
he turns up in is against who?
I know.
Tottenham. Honestly, that is it. If he's had a poor season, he turned up against us, didn't he?
Justin says, getting a new manager ain't going to change nothing at the club and the mentality.
Agree with that.
But this is it. We had Conte come in, and I want to ask you about this because we're going to talk about Hugo Lloris in a moment's time. And I think we might even have the Hugo little sting. That's a good point to come on to now. And by the way, guys, brilliant work with researching on this. I read this myself. And I think this will give us a bit of insight into, say, people like Conte, because if anyone should be able to change our mindset is Antonio Conte.
Yep.
Now, Hugo Lloris, what was said in that? Is it a book he's got coming out?
Yeah, he had a lot to say on Antonio Conte. And do you know what? In an era where there's a lot of player power, match. What I mean, there's a lot of player power. You can't say anything to them. You're not allowed to say anything to them. And you know our manager there, our previous manager, Antonio Conte, he did frustrate at times, but he's definitely one of them managers. And I'll just talk about a couple of pieces there where I tell you, this one I found great, like Hugo Lloris on Antonio Conte, right? If a player needed a little love, he'd better not knock at Conte's door. For Conte, trust is earned in training. He has no filter. He's sincere, honest. He's a manager who lives only by results, whereas from a player's perspective, performance is important too. That season when we lost 3-2 to Manchester United away, the Ronaldo hat-trick, a result which didn't reflect our performance, I told Højbjerg and Harry Kane in the dressing room, they may have just beaten us, but I bet you we finish above them. And so we did. Ended up in fourth place after battering Arsenal 3-0 on the last day, situating ourselves halfway between Conte's demanding nature and a little self-management, because by dint of being whipped and screamed at, we eventually stuck our fingers in our ears.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it just sort of gives you a little insight. Like there's another...
But again, as Conte said on that Southampton rant, they want to play comfortably. They don't want to be under pressure. This team, this mentality, and he went crazy about it. And I was so glad he called these people out, because we've always said, is it the manager? Is it the players? It's the players, bruv.
Yeah. And a different group. And you can keep going. The players are not good enough. I think Tottenham have shown this year that they have got a group there more than capable of delivering when it comes to like some of the football that we've played. Man, it's just been great, some of the football. It really, really has. At times, like the Villa one, the comebacks in games, the first half against Brighton, we've played some lovely, lovely stuff that shows it. But I think there's a few things that make the top player be consistent week in, week out. You've got to have the right mentality. You've got to be able to do a little bit with the football. You've got to be fit, and you've got to have a big heart.
And
I think Tottenham, a few of them group are missing a few of them
and
things.
you need some experience.
You do, yeah.
So
that
so
seems
when
to
this
be a thing that's gone away in the game, doesn't it, mate?
Because of the way that teams operate, and again, Pardew mentioned this yesterday about clubs not willing to buy players who are older because there's no resale value. You know, look at Sterling, for example, leaving Chelsea because his wages will be high. He ain't going to want to drop wages later on in his career. So to get those players in, you're thinking, well, there's no sell-on value. It's going to cost me a lot of money. He's expecting big wages. That's difficult.
He's not done a lot there as well,
No,
man.
I
I had a chat with you again.
Yeah.
Give you a little bit of praise there. You went, nah. I think you said he won't do anything.
No.
I said he will. A lot of season still to be played. A lot of football still to be
Lots
played.
to
Ain't
play.
really done a lot at the minute. You know what I mean? So that could have been a situation where you invest heavily. No guarantees, Madge. Just back onto that one. There are no guarantees.
The other thing I was going to say, right? I know a lot of Spurs fans, about his tenure at Tottenham with Conte, didn't think Perisic did much. Now, you know that I'm a big Perisic fan, yeah?
Yeah.
See Perisic, he was still with us last year at the start of the season, wasn't he? When we played Man United, he came on and he changed the game. Like, those players with that level of ability have moments in them that they can change the game. His crossing was phenomenal, right? That ball over the top that he had all the time. What he saw that other players didn't see, this is because he's a top player who's mature. James Maddison's 27, he's considered a senior member of our squad.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, that's a problem. Because as I said, already touched on about his application when he came on the football pitch yesterday. Another game as well, Madge. You know, we had a chat on here a couple of weeks ago. We love Heung-min Son, I love him. But the tip we said that you have them chats about Heung-min Son. Is he done? Did he finish? We said that, didn't we? That was one.
I just don't think he's going to be this.
He's not
the same player.
He's not going to be that man
he's
for you
not.
consistently. This club, like Harry Kane, yeah, relies so much on a couple of players over the last few years, didn't we? Sonny still, Harry for years. You know, I mean, we're still relying on Son because the next who's in is Werner in his role. You know what I mean? You're not getting nothing out of him. Look, another little bit on here, Conte, mate, because I find it fascinating that the Antonio Conte one about when we're talking about a manager and like what a manager demands and how do you deal with certain players in the modern day. Hugo Lloris and Antonio Conte. I found Antonio Conte to be quite a character, driven by victory, which gave him energy. But he found it very hard to control his frustration when we started drawing, let alone losing, because he's in a torment, had to get out. And if we was tormented, then everyone had to share that torment too, and things could get very complicated very, very fast. You know what I mean? It's just almost like that. If you're talking about, I don't know, what do you think? What is a winner?
Somebody that demands the highest level of performance week in, week out, who won't let their performance drop below a certain standard.
Yeah.
Somebody that when you see it, Rodri's a winner, yeah? You've seen him go mad in the changing room, right? You know, and you go, that's not acceptable. Guys, I'm not blaming anyone, but that's not acceptable. We go again, right? That's what it is, and that's the leaders. And you look around and then you go, you know, Simon's absolutely right, sorry to go on a tangent. We're not playing the Son's strengths. We rarely play counter-attacking. That's what Son's brilliant at, isn't he? The counter-attack. And we saw it against Villa.
Again, you're back on Conte ball then.
Yeah.
And that is and that's football that everyone said was
Everyone
no good.
complained about.
Boring
Again,
football. Again, so this is what I'm saying. Again, the manager has got to find formulas in football matches. I think it's just very, very simple for me. I'm really on that. Like, turn up, show the right desire from minute one in football games, we'll be all right. I don't see enough of that, and so there's too many games where we're not at the races.
I just think, I don't know whether it's because of the system, but I just think defensively we are woeful. And the irony is that we haven't conceded that many goals in comparison to some other teams. But it's like this. When we get back into our positions, we're all over the place, right? Like, for example, against Ipswich yesterday, drag us in, stopping the cross coming in. Pedro Porro never know. Do you remember Carl Walker's biggest fault for me when he was at Spurs was he never knew what was over his shoulder? I remember a game against Man United at home. Ball comes over. Wayne Rooney's behind him. Goal, right? Porro never knows what's behind his shoulder. And Romero, who's a World Cup winning centre-half, who's got desires to go to Real Madrid and all of that kind of... Mate, defensively, his positioning is awful. Miles off.
And do you know what as well, Madge, as well? Like, he's a vice captain at the club. That's important. That's an important task for me.
But again, another problem, and this stems even deeper, is we are not the final destination for big players.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah?
You don't know what's going to happen with him.
No, but Romero is already thinking that he's bigger than the club. He has done since
Agreed.
he's been there, right?
Do you know another one as well? You know, we had a joke about like the my dad had the jacket on yesterday. You know the big jacket?
Yeah, I saw it.
You had the big jacket on. I had it on in the week, didn't I? You look like you're a coach, didn't you? Down
Yeah.
there. We got a lot of them at Tottenham. What are they doing, mate? We're not improving in areas. There's a lot of them on that training ground every day, Madge. What are we doing? We can't stop crosses. We can't defend. You can't deal with set plays. I'm not being funny. Vicario, that goalkeeping for that goal yesterday, he pushed it in the middle of the area, pushed it onto Dragusin, feel a little bit for Dragusin there. Someone's just tapping that in. It's terrible goalkeeping.
Do you know what? It's nice that you mentioned Jack Hewson again, because even that and his bloody gobby agent going on all the time. Again,
too many players thinking they're better than what they are.
Yes.
Mate. It's a prime example of that. Stay in your lane and just be a little bit quiet. Less is more at times. You've been a bit too vocal and your boys got exposed big time.
But that is why.
Because he's come in for a little group of games. His first little window of opportunity, Madge. Caught on in possession of the ball against Galatasaray.
Yeah.
Punished by Victor Osimhen. We said he'd be the danger man.
Osimhen!
What happened on the night, Madge?
Osimhen.
He was the man that done the business for him, yeah? At the weekend there. I just
You'd like him at Tottenham, wouldn't you?
Love him at Tottenham.
Wages.
I'd love him. Yeah, wages again. But you know what? If anyone was at that football game yesterday, was in that crowd, or managed to watch it on because it weren't on telly, the first thing that happened in the game, Dragusin made a big error. Literally after the first kick, and I thought, here we go. That's setting the tone for the day.
Simon said Romero's having a poor season and people are
Definitely.
using him as a scapegoat. But if we said it, we're not bringing it any better. Simon, the
with
irony of that statement is you could like throw that back on Ange. Ange has a couple of bad games we lose, and it's like, let's get someone else in. Who are we bringing in better than Ange right now?
No, yeah.
Who are we bringing in better than Ange?
That's better than Romero, mate. Centre half. Makes errors, not quite at it. Who are you bringing in? We had a chat about the boy that ended up at West Ham from Wolves. What was his name?
Gary O'Neill.
No, the centre half.
Oh, sorry, mate. From Wolves.
Yeah. What's his name? My
Max,
brother.
Max.
Killman. 40, and we had it. How much? 45.
Yeah.
He couldn't lace Romero's boots.
No.
And you're paying £45 million for him.
But this is
what are you gonna get?
This is the market right now. Football
100%.
is like.
There's not too many better options out there, mate, and they all come with you have to pay a lot of money, and you come with no guarantees.
Crystal Palace wouldn't even get rid of Gay.
Yeah.
Newcastle offered 60 million. No, thank you.
You look at them, Crystal Palace. They beat Tottenham. That's it. On paper, Guay, he's going to Newcastle, wasn't he? £85 million bid's getting turned down.
Yeah, got turned down.
Do you know what I mean? It just shows you, doesn't it, in football, mate? No guarantee. We was thinking he was a decent manager, the Palace guy there, not long ago. Struggling to win a football game.
He did lose his best player in Elise.
Yeah, but
they lost.
Invested heavily in Nketiah, though. Hasn't scored a goal match.
Yeah, but it's not the same as Elise.
No, but what I'm saying, but I get that, but I'm saying that for a club like Palace, you know.
Benjamin says, do you think... Oh, someone said, where's the duck? Where is the duck?
Where's the duck?
Do you know what? As Leo Alice...
I tell you, I think the duck's had enough.
He's ducked off.
The duck's had enough.
He's ducked off,
I'll
mate.
tell you what, you know what? You're talking about inconsistencies. This is our fourth podcast in Vision.
Yeah.
1-1, lost one. 1-1, lost one.
And now we've lost the duck.
And now the duck's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simon says, it won't be hard to improve on a manager that hasn't got a plan B or a plan C, Kev.
Tell me who they are. That's what I want.
That's what I want. I want
Tell
names.
me who they are with a guarantee. That's what I want. By the way, Spurs, right? You know the fixture man, whoever done the fixtures, he's looked after Spurs this year. Because you know, like last year, we had a little run where we had some tough fixtures, back-to-back match. Our next 5 games, there's some points to be picked up in there. Like you look at them, right? City away, tough task. But we know what happens.
Yeah.
Like we have the conversation about the Ipswich one. You could get beat there. We get beat.
But we could beat Man City.
Beat Man City, yeah.
Hence, we are a cup team.
Lost 4 games in a row. I think the international breaks come at a fantastic time for Man City, personally. Like, they're struggling big time. Can they sort of recoup? Who do you want to play against if you ain't won in 4 games? Tottenham. So it'd be interesting, that one. City away match. Fulham at home. Got a guy in there. All the boys from Arsenal seem to be doing a little bit for him. Smith Rowe and all the gang. Fulham at home. Bournemouth away after that. Chelsea at home. Yeah. And then Southampton away. So you got 5 games there. You know, we had a little chat about we'll see where Spurs are after 5 games. We've got some positive results, didn't we?
Yeah.
Beginning on in the season. I think we're in a similar situation, mate. Do you know what leads to departures at football clubs for managers? Is consecutive defeats. a string of bad results consecutively, consistently. He hasn't really had that yet, the manager, has he?
No.
Win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. So when you make comparisons to other managers in their tenure at Spurs, i.e. the Nuno one, who I think picked up after 15 points after 10 games or whatever, it's more of the style of football he was playing. Because I've seen that one doing the rounds, but the style of football under Nuno, we didn't have one. We didn't have an identity at all. Yeah, and it was bad results that were leading to his departure. So it'd be interesting for Ange. Can he spin it round? We'll find out soon.
Hand City, their 5th loss in a row. Yeah, they're going to want to come and win that game because they can't lose 5 in a row.
Look at the table, mate.
That's what I'm saying.
Tottenham 10th with 16 points. Chelsea in 3rd with 19 points. Tottenham have got a better goal difference than them. 3 points separate 10th and 3rd.
Is it 3 points?
3 points, mate.
Nah, let me see that.
3 points.
Can we get the table up? Wow.
3 points.
So yeah,
and we've got a better goal. We've got a better goal difference. So you got an edge there.
We're 3 points behind Arsenal because I was working out today.
We could have gone 3rd yesterday if we won.
I know, but this is that.
Let's sack a manager who potentially could have took you to 3rd yesterday. But let's put no onus on the group. As I said, I'm not fully on board with the manager. He's definitely recruitment if you're owning that one, and that approach where you're saying that one way, Ange way, etc. So we'll see. He's got to do better as well.
Spencer's given us 2 weeks' wages. No coasters and no duck. Spencer, what are these coasters?
I've got the coasters, didn't I?
Oh, is it you?
Spencer, it's my fault.
Oh, it's all coming out.
Give it 2 weeks to the
I didn't even know we had any coasters.
We have got the coasters, isn't it?
What coasters?
Spencer got us the coasters.
Oh, that's
high
nice,
class ones as well.
And you don't bring them?
I didn't bring him purposely. Shout out to Spencer as well because he's a lovely man.
This is like last week when Gaz forgot to walk after the pod.
In fact, you know what? Shout out to the majority or everyone in that group chat there, because as Madge touched on earlier, like we're all going through it together. We experience the pain. We go through the wins together. We go through the losses together. And we're not them horrible people and managed people, are we? I appreciate everyone's input and engagement.
And I can totally understand why someone might feel big Ange out and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Look, Simon, bro, you are definitely a glass half empty guy. Yeah, you are not a positive Pete, mate. Because
don't worry about it, Simon. We've all been there.
Look. See, this is how you look at things. We're 3 points off of 3rd, or 1 point off of 13th. Right? This is the game. This is life. Like, we have to look positively at these things. You know, perspective is everything. Thanks for who's giving us the thumbs up. That's a nice thumbs up. I've never seen.
Do you know what as well?
Oh, did I do that with a thumbs up?
You know what I don't like? You know, we talked about Romero. You know that. You know the player chat post game. They come out and they give you the little message.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it anymore. I don't want to hear it.
It's the same old
rubbish.
We've got to look at ourselves.
So we go to Romero. Today we wasted another opportunity, a moment that we'll overcome and come back stronger altogether. Save your time. Don't put the message out. Dreadful. Don't want to hear it. Porro, yeah? As a team, we have to take responsibility for these results. We must come together to be better, and we'll now look forward to coming back stronger after the break. The effort you put into supporting us must be reflected in our effort on the pitch, and it's something we will never take for granted. See you after the break. It winds me up, Madge. Like it's not. It's not. The apology is. I don't accept the apology, mate.
Chris Cowling's absolutely right. The recruitment must be better, and next window must be played for now. So, I wanted to come on this. There was a brief talk about in the week Jack Grealish.
Cool.
Right now, that is someone who we could benefit with right now, because can you imagine what he could do?
How much are you on a week?
Well, this is the issue, right? Who do we need in the January transfer window, right?
I think we need. I think Spurs. This is where I'm at. I think Spurs need a backup goalkeeper. Whether that's going to happen as a priority in this window, probably not, because Vicario is going to be playing your majority of football. But moving forward, it's something we need to address. Tottenham need cover in the fullback areas. Jed Spence, he's there, not been used. Yeah. Is he good enough? Question marks, don't know. But we haven't got no cover.
Would you drop Porro for a game to see what Jed Spence could do?
Interesting. I don't know who's a better defender. And I'm not being funny.
Because we ain't seen it.
There are two arts to the game: offensive, attacking, and defending. Porro can't defend much. Like, you know, he's so good at going forward, can't defend. So at some point, you're going to have to make a call there. And if Jed Spence is your man who's in there to be given a run, I'll tell you one thing: could he do any worse in a game?
Not at the moment. No way.
No way. You know what I mean? You couldn't say he could do any worse. Need cover at left back. I don't think the centre half covers. Look, mate.
Oh, here we go. One sec. Sorry. Thank you to Reggie. Grealish is on 400 grand a week.
God blimey, that's not a bad little number, that one, is it? Centre half, centre half. I think we're all right in midfield. I think that we got bodies in there. Who are you going to bring in that area? Missed out probably on an enforcer. Do we need someone like that? Spoke about the lad at Aston Villa last week. Was really impressed with him. He's playing for them. Who are you going to bring in there? Wide areas need to be addressed. But again, we've bought money on Odegaard. He's been out injured. How much money is going to be made available? Richarlison out injured as well. You know what I mean? Again, so
Do you know who's got
it
all
could
the
be
answers?
worse.
This guy.
Oh my God, mate! You know what? I've
For
given.
those that don't know, I'm showing the picture of what's his name again? David.
I tell you what,
David
David Coote, 2 weeks serving, 2 weeks wages, mate. He's gone. What has he done? Just got drunk? Has he just had a little session with a couple of fellas?
Yeah.
Hey, I know we've all been there, but he's had a nightmare there.
Do you know what?
Disaster.
Benjamin Gallagher's got a great point here. So stick Poro as a winger. I'll tell you what, Jed Spence on the right-hand side, Poro delivers a ball brilliantly.
Trouble is, like, could you imagine again, like, if you're experimenting on the job, don't go right, who's going to get it first hand, Madge? Who's going to get it? Who's going to get it first hand? You know what I mean? And that is the unfortunate place that we're in.
Simon, this is where I agree with you, mate, right? He says, Poro's a wing-back like a Dogie, but shame we have a manager that never changes his system. Now, I want to see a back five at some point, because if you went with, like we said...
I think you go free at the... Do you want to carry on? Or do you want to take that on, mate? I think you go free at the back. I think, who would you use at the minute? If I'm making that free at the back, by the way, I'm not putting Dragusin in it. Right
now?
Nah. I'll play Romero, Van der Ven, Ben Davis.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Like at the minute,
Yeah.
And look, if he proves me wrong, whatever. But by the way, you can flip a coin with that. Romero can go in, Van der Ven can go to the left side of the three, and Dragusin could come in. Udugi and Poro as your wing backs. Bentancur, Sarr or Basuma, 2 of the 3. Do you play 2 number 10s? So it'd probably be Maddison and Kulu, and then Solanke up front.
Yeah,
you'd lose Heung-min Son there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, again, these are calls that the manager might have to make. Something's going to have to change. Like, you know what I mean? You can't just keep churning out one way, one style of play. You'd like to see a little bit of a mix-up, mate. Yeah,
no, I agree with you on that. And surely this is. I'd love to know from internal sources if he talks about maybe you need to change the system at this point, etc. You know what it is? I'm gonna me and Simon have had a great back and forth tonight. Thanks, Si. About Ange, and I've had it with other people as well. I'm going to tell you all the things I think Ange has done wrong, right? When Ange has come in, he's talked too much. He said too much. It's like going to like a beautiful lady, right? That you're taking out for the evening. And you're like, it's a bit like the stat man. And you're like, listen, babe, right? Second year, I always take someone out and, I finished the job, babe. Takes her home, disappoints her, right? Yeah? Why? Because he doesn't make her dinner.
Keep it clean.
Because he doesn't make her dinner.
Oi.
See what I did there?
Mash and sausage
right?
and mash.
There's no sausage or mash. Right? So he's said all that. Then he's come out and said about the he's questioning our mentality as fans. I'm like, bro, you don't understand how much we hate Arsenal. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, I don't wear the colour red, mate. Like, for me, Arsenal Spurs is like Bloods and Crips. Yeah? Right? And it's like, what are you doing? Don't ever question us as fans. Then go afterwards, he did apologise. So, like, I kind of got that wrong. I didn't realise, kind of thing. It's like, mate. So, I understand what Ange is saying. He wants to be a winner that badly, that beating Arsenal shouldn't be a problem, and you should focus on winning every game yourself. Don't worry about if it helps Arsenal, because we should be in a better position. But he's done that wrong. He said too much stuff, and he seems really stubborn in his approach, yeah?
Yeah.
So, but... it's who we are, mate. Right? We definitely, if we're in a project, yeah, we need to go, we're in a project, we know what's happening. A bit like Chelsea, right? But then they said, nah, we're not having Rick Poch, we're going Maresca. Okay. If we're going to get rid of Big Ange, I want a definitive name. For me, Graham Potter's not good enough. Like, he's had his go at Chelsea.
No one's taken a punt on him, have they?
No.
Been a few jobs available.
But there's apparently...
Whether he's been...
Apparently Sporting Lisbon and Roma are after him. Apparently so. But I'm just like, look.
Again, imagine it, he comes with no guarantees going to them for 2 football clubs. Does he? Hasn't got a clue what any of them 2 leagues are about, what the teams are about in them leagues, the opposition. So look,
Madge has got into a cul-de-sac here. No, I'm with you. I can understand the qualms, what people have with Ange. But am invested in this project, and for me, he's got till the end of the season.
Mate, inevitably, in football...
Richie's over there injured, mate.
In football, mate, one of the oldest saying is, the players don't get the sack, the managers do.
Mm-hmm.
And that is inevitably what will happen. Yeah, because what it was over there yesterday, it was so toxic. I'm telling you, mate, little pockets of arguments amongst Spurs fans going off. Really bad. Massive boos at half-time. Massive boos post-match. Do you know what I mean? And he's got to try and find a way to churn it around. I think that the breaks probably come at a decent time off the back of that result. Do you think, Madge? Just have a little breather from it.
Look, Benjamin's saying...
Really, really toxic. But, Madge, the reality is, look, for the manager there, right, last 39 Premier League games, won 17, drew 5, lost 17. Do you know what I mean?
Because I told you
56 points from our last 39 Premier League games. Apparently, he spent the best part of 400 million.
But isn't a lot of money in this day and age.
I know, but how accurate it is... But then,
four Jack Grealishes.
You put that piece together, whether you believe in it or not, whether you think it's right or not. It's not good reading, much. It's not good reading, and like he needs to, because you know what? As much as I've put the onus on players as well, that manager's got a nice number. He's managing Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, and when you're losing football matches, mate, he's got to take ownership, which he has done post-match yesterday. So look, he's got to do a bit for himself as well.
This is again. Look, the fella at Bournemouth looks good. He's had a couple of wins. Like this is like people are so quick to go on things. Go, he looks good.
Is that it? Yeah, that's what it is.
It's like Lopetegui.
Mate, we do it with our own players. I'm not like I love Justin Bowden. I talk to him a lot. Shout out to Justin Bowden, but I think I just saw a thing of him about Phillips and Devine out on loan. Not good enough. Yeah, they're not going to play for Tottenham. Let's get real. Spurs fans sometimes think they get real. They're not going to play for Spurs, Will. I'm telling you, mate. We'll see. All right, we'll have this chat in a few years' time. We'll see if Alfie Devine plays for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. We'll see. Where is he out on loan, Will?
He's at Leyton Orient, yeah. Well, look, this
whether you believe in it or not, I'm telling how I think. I'm seeing Ashley Phillips. Tottenham were in a defensive crisis last year. At the back at one point, he didn't play football. Didn't play one game. I've seen him go to Stoke this year. He's on the bench. But you're throwing a hat at him going, oh, he's going to be a shoo-in for Tottenham. No, he ain't. We saw it. Like, how many other players have come in with similar outcomes? I don't know. I don't think that people like Devine, whether they're even good enough, will get the opportunity, because we're talking about going again in the market in certain areas. That pushes them down the pecking order even more. So, yeah.
Simon says he backs.
But Will is a big backer, though, to be fair. Do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't say he's a big backer. One
He's
thing
a
I'd
big
like
backer.
to ask
He's a
everyone
big
is,
backer.
you know what? People's ages as a Spurs fan is a really relative thing. And it was very similar with England and Gareth Southgate. Now, the young generation of kids were feeling Southgate. They were like, he's giving me a semi-final and a final. They were enjoying it. Then the older lot hated him. Now, with Spurs, right, and this whole Enoch out, Levy's
He's not Orient, by the way. He's over in Belgium. So the stat man there,
Stat man got it wrong.
The stat man there who's saying he's going to be brilliant for Tottenham, don't even know what bloody team he's at. Hey, this is a typical, what I mean, example. We're saying he's going to be brilliant. You don't even know what team he's playing for, son. I'm not running him up. I'm just saying I don't think he's in the way.
Right, so, you know, like this whole thing, Enoch out and Levy out and all this kind of thing, right? We laugh about this, guys. And we're Amakachi and all that kind of stuff, yeah, right? Growing up, bro, I swear we were in relegation battles.
Of course.
Were we not?
Yeah.
Were we not? Please answer me this, people.
The Christian Gross.
Christian Gross.
Glenn Hoddle. Glenn Hoddle, he didn't get it going over there, did he?
David Pleat.
The Hod of the King, the Hod. Like, King the Hod. King of the Lane. Glenn Hoddle didn't get it going over there, mate. Pleat had a little number.
For me...
Ozzy.
Yeah.
Ozzy
with the famous five at the front.
Like, we've seen some bad days, but we have moved on and grown as a club.
No, but what I'm saying is, when we were buying like Andy Sinton and our midfielder...
Andy Booth, the emergency loan signing.
Kerslake.
Oh, come on, son.
Yeah?
It's bad. Tramazani. Todo. Saib. Saib.
Oh, my
Saib. God. Jose Dominguez.
Timothy Tuba.
I've got them up my sleeve, mate. I can reel them off all day long.
God rest his soul, Bujnevovic.
Oh, terrible. Chimovic.
Hi, guys, I need to understand it, because when people say this, I'm like, was I watching the same Spurs as you in the 90s? Because I used to go to White Hart Lane. It's like, every week, like I'd go there, like we got rolled, like
It was. By the way, if you got a result against an
Yeah.
Ipswich yesterday,
Yeah,
that
I
used to be a
know.
positive.
Oh,
I'll tell you what, you're piling in the pubs down at Tottenham, having a time of your life.
course you are.
If you beat Ipswich at home,
we're singing "Glory, Glory, Tottenham Hotspur."
you are. 100%.
Like I honestly need. There you go. Ania is what Spurs need. He's a bit of experience and he's free in the summer, and it'll break my heart. But I still want to watch him. Big up Rich, 28, a bit of
Page Dog,
experience.
shout out to Page Dog, top man. I'm old. I've seen 2 UEFA Cups, 3 FA Cups, 2 League Cups. I've also seen us nearly go bust
Yeah.
under Scholar. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like, you know, like my dad says it. My dad was there in 1984.
Jonathan Blondell there. Belgium starlet. Mabazela scored the screamer against Leicester.
Oh, the names. But here we go. This is it. 97-98 season. We needed a draw away at Barnsley to stay up effectively. So
We must have got it.
Yeah, we didn't go down.
By the way, give Spurs a little bit of credit. One of the select 4 or 5 teams only to have ever remained in the Premier League.
Yeah.
That's big.
That is what I'm saying.
That is big. Like that is huge. When you put things into context, you took a look at Villa and West Ham and all that. Newcastle, they've been playing in the Championship.
So Richard, I think, is a Nottingham Forest fan as well as a Spurs fan, right? Forest.
Yeah, he shout out to Richard, lovely
Yeah,
bloke.
right. So he remembers when like Ian Wone was knocking in big goals against us. Nottingham Forest used to roll us. Like, yeah, I don't understand this idea.
No, we've come on, no, Madge. We have.
Yeah, but
you do grow. Part of it is not
but
standing.
under Enoch.
Yeah.
Under Enoch.
You can make that shout. Yeah, because under Sugar, it weren't looking good, was it?
Yeah, but even Sugar, have you seen? Do you know
He's
what?
having a Barney's with Tenant Venables, the whole lot.
I know. I remember doing the right. I love the show, guys, but just because we were rubbish in the 90s, it don't mean we should be rubbish forever.
Agreed.
And Joe, I agree with you, but my question is, where does the entitlement come from to say we're so great? This is what I'm saying. When things like we don't do things and we don't win, and it's like, you know, I was hearing.
I think that's a great shout, Benjamin Gallagher there. A couple of experienced heads in there. And that is a thing that clubs are going away from. I don't get why. I don't
Because
get.
of the sell-on value.
I get
Pars
that.
was saying this yesterday.
But you got to find the right balance, Madge. Like you got to find the right balance between like investing in youth. You know what I mean, and getting the right mixture, because that's what probably makes up a leader is a good old head who's been around the block a little bit. And do you know what I mean? I think there's a few out there. I really
Tell
do.
you what, there was an interesting thing I saw on TikTok earlier, and I'm sure I saved it. I hope I did, so I can look at it and tell you. It was really interesting.
Interesting chat today, lads.
It's been good.
Do you know what I mean? It's just
Oh no, it's not there. But it basically,
look at that one. Though you're talking about Daniel Levy. We were talking about entitlements, though, Madge. Just to go.
here we go. So it was a great thing on TikTok. The real problem at Spurs. Maybe its fans realise it's not the 80s anymore. It's not the 60s. A lot of teams have periods of success, but nobody is entitled to it. I support Spurs, even through thick and thin. I've only seen failure since 96 as a fan, so if anyone should be in a position to complain, it's me, right? What is the real problem at Tottenham? This is a really good video. Let me go get out of the comment. So it says, let's find out. This man, as in Pochettino, leads Spurs to second and third place finishes, best since 1962, a League Cup and Champions League final. But fans still demanded Poch out. We want to win trophies, right? Spurs fans get a winner in Jose Mourinho. Gets the team to a League Cup final before being sacked. Because guess what? Spurs fans wanted him gone months before this. Mourinho out. No more dinosaur football. Spurs fans get a manager who got manager of the month in his first month. Nuno. Off the back of a good spell with Wolves and now a decent start with Forest. Spurs fans, Nuno out. He's not big enough for our club. Spurs fans are given another winner who gets us to 5th and has fans adoring Conte ball, but then collapses the following season and subsequently blames the club instead of his own failures. Spurs fans again, Conte out. We don't want this negative football at our club. Also, let's bear in mind, each manager has had this world-class striker at the club to bail them out time and time again. Your mate Harry Kane.
Top boy.
Right? Spurs fans are now given a project
Kane.
manager. Right? Spurs fans are now given a project manager tasked with rebuilding the club. Club plays attacking football, finishes 5th, current season, 1 win away from 3rd position to Ange had enough of his rubbish attacking football. A manager who's bringing through youth and homegrown talent, promoting a brighter future for the club long term. The very thing Spurs fans cried out for when begging Ange to start Mikey Moore, etc. The reality is the club needs proper leaders, those with a true win at all cost mentality. That's what we're truly lacking. Good players can only lead you so far. You need fighters, battlers, intimidators. Once we get that, we'll have a fighting chance. Because the real problem is a toxic, entitled section of a fan base who bail when the going gets tough. Nobody has patience anymore, even with a manager who's doing his best with the confinements of the way the club is run. But as always, if Spurs fail, you can be sure fans will go back to blaming this man, Daniel Levy. And then it says, because the problem has only existed with Daniel Levy.
Well, I think
Alan Sugar here, right? Ready?
I think it's a good point. Can
What's
I just
it?
go
No.
on then?
I'm still going.
I'll tell you one thing. You must have passed all your reading exams in
Brilliant.
school, didn't you?
Well,
High class reading ability.
Champion. Sugar, in an interview recorded for Football Focus to be screened on BBC Grandstand at 12:20 today, said, basically, I've had enough of being the whipping boy of the fans. There's a limit to what one can take. It's starting to affect people in my family. They've said they're not going to games anymore. Tottenham is a club where its fan base lives on its past heritage and its past glory. For many years now, the managers have been in the untenable position of needing to provide instant success. If we had our time again, we should have not succumbed to quick fixes and tried to bring success. Sacking managers year after year will only take you backwards until you stick with a project. Brilliant post, I thought.
Yeah, it's extremely long, but yeah, fantastic post. Do you know, I thought what I wanted to just come in there when when we was talking about Daniel Levy, and we just harp back onto the Lloris piece. I found it like just so typical of the man. Like, here we go. So Hugo Lloris on Daniel Levy in the Champions League final. We do all have one engraved memory though. 4 days before the final, Daniel Levy called us all together to announce that with the support of a sponsor, we would each receive a luxury aviator watch from the club. At first, we were excited to see the elegant boxes. Then we opened them and discovered that it had the back of each timepiece engraved with the player's name and Champions League finalist, 2019 finalist. Who does such a? This is Lloris. Who does such a thing at a moment like this? I still haven't got over it, and I'm not alone. If we'd have won, he wouldn't have asked for the watches back to have winner engraved instead.
Well, do you know what it is with that? Right, and I brought this up on air.
That sums up a lot where we are.
No, I brought this up on air last night with Alan Pardew, yeah? And it was, he said to me, he was like, right, I understand what he's trying to do, but I'm like, bruv, Real Madrid would never give you finalist watches. What's that about? Yeah, and he goes, I get it, I understand. But he's trying to be, he's delivered something, which was a nice gesture.
Agree with you there.
But he's done it poorly, right?
Yeah.
So the watches, that's for getting to the finals, boys. What I would have done, yeah, is well done for getting to the finals, boys. Here's a what? Wow. When you win, I'm going to take them all back of you, and we're going to get him engraved a winner on the back.
Yeah, or
That's
just leave the engraving off.
Yeah, yeah.
How about that
But what I'm saying is, I don't think there was any malice in it. I don't think it was like a weak mentality. But I get what Hugo's saying. But bro,
no, but what he's doing though is just your typical Spurs, which we get. You're preempting the defeat.
Yeah, but
and that is an issue.
No, but what I'm saying
that's
is,
a problem.
he's genuinely not in his mind doing that. He's just delivered it. He's tone deaf. Daniel Levy's tone deaf. Yeah, and he's got that well wrong. And the thing is, it doesn't lead for like winning mentality. But like that post said that I read, and I can't. Who was it by? Luke, Will. I'll give you the TikTokers. Do you know what? We'll share it on our Same Old Spurs page because it's such a good read, and you'll read through it and can send it to other people as well.
International
Footy Talk is the user's name,
Yeah,
but we'll
good-
put it on our
good-
Same Old
yeah.
Spurs, so you can all listen to it as well. It's as simple as this for me, right? As we round off the pod a little here, that there's going to be ups and downs in footballs, right? Here we go. Just before I go into this, I'm wanting to trust in Big Ange as my son plays in the youth team and looks like the trust in youth is massive. Maybe very selfish, but Ange has a lot of gems coming through, so maybe a little more time.
And I wish that guy, with his son there.
Tellboy, wasn't Imagine Page at St. Ignatius? Tellboy, sit down, my friend.
I tell you what,
That's
mate.
terrible. 2 weeks' wages for
I'm
Tell.
an Arrowsmith boy, mate.
Page.
Loads of time for the Middlesex group. Come on.
No.
Where are you? What are you going to be?
Champion.
Who are you supporting this weekend anyway?
Champion from the offset. Yeah.
Champion, yeah. You know,
I started off in 1.2.
Madge had one of them ones where you know that the mum and the dad, they get round the teachers' early doors, they get them in the back door, get them in the top sets, innit?
My mum wasn't there first day of school, bro. She's left the house.
Ah, come on, you've gone too
We've
deep
gone
there.
deep.
That's a chat for off camera.
Yeah,
Come
it's
on.
an off-camera one.
What was I going to say to you? But what? Talking of things, yeah. Who are you supporting this weekend? England, Ireland.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
Yeah.
who are you supporting?
I'm in the middle, mate.
Because you picked, didn't you? You jumped ship to wherever.
I've got the Irish passport, mate.
Have you? Of course you have. You got the green on Sunday, yeah? Green of Ireland.
Ireland are favourites, so we'll go for Ireland. No, but the watches are Blue Ink specials, I imagine that. Paige is funny. Madge has never been in Me Tell Boy. By the way, for those that don't understand the Ignatius banter, at at St Ignatius College, where me and Gazza went to, there were 6 classes. Yeah, it was Arrowsmith, Campion, Garnet, Lewis, Page, and Southall. 6 classes, right? And 2 of those classes were the top band, and the other 4 were considered main band. Although I think maybe Page and Lewis were probably like underneath Arrowsmith and Garnet.
I'm saying absolutely nothing. Do you know the last time I done that, someone had a pop with me.
I know.
I'm not saying nothing.
No, I'm joking. That was always the banter.
Shout out to Tellboy there, the Aerosmith crew. Come on.
So yeah.
We always done a bit in the sport though, in the football.
Yeah.
First year rocked up, mate. You bring all your little gang, didn't you? You got rolled, mate.
No, but
heavily. We pick up the football award, mate. My team.
Yeah, 1 year.
Yeah, don't matter. You know
the
what?
rest of the year we won every year.
Yeah, but like we always say, it's the first year that matters.
Is
son.
it?
Of course it is.
That's why
That's when everyone had the thing. We get up to other things after the first year, didn't we, Madge?
Well, no, you lost Irwin.
Yeah.
As soon as you lost Irwin, you won nothing.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, so just give you some context about the Ignatius banter for those who are like, what are they talking about? So yeah, Gazza was in Arrowsmith. I was in Campion. And that's why we was there to laugh for Campion. So basically, I was a bod. Do you know that word, bod?
Yeah, you still are, mate.
I still a bod. Hang about. Who did the research for the show tonight? Me or you?
Yeah, it's true.
You did the research.
I have to bring something to the table.
You do. Guys, listen. That's what Monday Night Therapy is for. It's for us to have a bit of a laugh and try and make sense of this crazy world, which is professional Premier League football. Now, just to be the more positive bearer on here, and Gazza's not being negative tonight, by the way, but just some of the comments on here, right? 1 win away from third place at the moment. We're 3 points behind. There's so much football to be played. There's injuries.
How mental is it, Madge? We're only like 10 games in.
I know. It just
38 games season. We've got 28 games.
I know. There's so
games.
much football to play.
Mental.
There's so much to learn, right? And one thing, right? Natasha, my sister's here. One season wasn't going to turn us around. It's just cleared out the rubbish, and the rebuild needs time and patience. Let's not be Arsenal TV and be so reactive. Yes, yesterday was painful. Tasha, I'm in agreement with you there. I just think, like, we don't... you know what? London Football Goal Centre, that's a posh school for Enfield. Ignatius weren't posh, bruv. You know what? People had this perception that Ignatius was posh. But our year alone, there was a few people in that year that ended up on the front
He brings
page
the
of papers.
research to the table as he doesn't bring the coasters. You're spot on,
I
page.
love that.
Tell you what, next podcast you're going to see the coasters. They're going to be all laid out here.
I want the coasters next week. Right, guys.
Who are you though, Sunday? You ain't answered.
Oh, well, for the
England,
rugby.
Ireland. Yeah, mate. I want an answer, mate. Who are you? You got the Irish passport. You've dodged the question.
I've got the Irish
England v Ireland.
Whoever wins.
Who are we?
Whoever wins.
Because who are you?
Whoever wins.
Don't sit on the fence.
Whoever wins, I'm them. Because I need to win. I've had enough of Spurs.
Need a W.
I need a win. I
I'll
need
tell you
some
one
kind of
thing.
win.
One thing's for sure. That Ireland team are poor, at the minute.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Even they always had a little player, didn't they? Even like when like back in the day, Roy Keane was in there. You know, it was McGrath at the back. You know, Andy Townsend, Talksport.
Oh, yeah.
Always had a little someone who could do a little
Ray
bit.
Houghton.
Yeah, Ray Houghton. Like now they just got like I don't know who's playing for him.
No, there
Troy
was
Parrott at the top end for them. The Doc's still getting a little run out.
Kinsella when he in there back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
let's try and work out
Matt Holland.
what World
Matt
Cup
Holland.
94, yeah?
You're going to really show your Irish roots to see if you're any good. Phil Babb.
Phil Babb.
Phil Babb is doing
Who
a
was
bit.
the goalie for I can
Steve
see him.
Staunton.
Steve Staunton was there with his
Steve Staunton
orange
doing a
eyebrows. Steve Staunton, Andy
Paddy,
Townsend, Ray
who
Houghton.
was the goalie?
This one trying Paddy Bott.
No, as of years ago, I think him. Who was the geezer who used to play with Sheffield United? He got the goalie, wasn't it? Don't have to come back to me on the goalie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Phil Babb.
Yeah, Phil Babb. McGrath.
McGrath, what a guy.
Yeah, Townsend.
Staunton.
Yeah.
Jason McAteer.
Yeah, McAteer. Did you see that story of McAteer when he was in the lineup in the '94 World Cup? And there was some lovely bird in the thing, and he was like, pass it on. They kept passing it on, the message.
Yeah, I've
he
heard
was
about
getting
that.
to Roy, and he was like, row 5, and there's some like bird with,
Beat Roma at home will boost us all. When we got Roma at home?
Big tip, yeah. Our next 2 European Cup games are Roma. We've got Roma at the end of November, and then we got Rangers in December. Christmas cracker, I think it's on the 12th. Big couple of games there.
So we go to Manchester City on
Roma.
the 23rd.
I don't think Roma are doing too much in the Serie A this year.
Yeah, 28th of November we host Roma at home, so I'll be there for that. 1st of December we got Fulham at home. I won't be there. I'll be in Dubai. Then we got Bournemouth on the 5th of December, still in Dubai. And then 8th of December, I land back at Gatwick. No, Stansted at 12:30 from Dubai. And it's a 4:30 at home against Chelsea. Now, I was supposed to be on air that day. I'm trying to convince
Doing it
Talk
live
Sport
there.
to do it from there.
Stephen Kelly, that Paddy Kenny in the stick.
Paddy
Troy
Kenny.
I'm not sure if it would have been Paddy Kenny in the sticks there.
Right, we got to find this out before we finish the podcast. Ireland World Cup starting 11.
Look, at the end of the day, lads, look, everyone listening to, ladies, gentlemen, like Spurs, they put us through it. But we're all in it together. And as we said, there's been a good debate here, looking at the questions coming in and people's opinion, and it's only an opinion. And you've got to keep it reasonable, do you know what I mean? Don't go over the top of it. Don't be too aggressive in your approach and how you deal with things. And I think on the whole, there's a lot of Spurs fans who do get that balance right. A lot of the people sort of tip the scales and go overboard with it sometimes. But look, let's hope that off the back of it, we can go out to Man City and nick something there. We've done it before.
I can't believe we left out. What we got here? The club have announced this dedicated singing section. Guys, we just got some breaking news from the stat man before we go anywhere. Following discussions with supporters groups, return of the shelf, Spurs song sheet and Tottenham Hotspur flags, the club is pleased to support the request to trial a dedicated singing section at home cup matches during the 24-25 season. The singing section will be located in the South Stand lower tier, blocks 252, 254 and 256, rows 1 to 29. All tickets are located within the safe standing areas. If you wish to participate and are currently located in this area, your payment will be processed on Thursday. So, what, can you not sing anywhere else?
I think the atmosphere is a problem at Spurs. It really, really is. And do you know what it is? I'm a big believer that you have to be inspired. By the way, I'm a big believer that you have to be inspired by what's going on the pitch to get a reaction from you. Some people would disagree with that because they'd be saying, look, you need to get the boys going. You need to fire them up. It's difficult in games when, like, it's not quite going for you to just suddenly click your fingers and start being a bit vocal. It's tough. And it's obviously tough because there's not enough people singing in the ground. So they're obviously finding that difficult. Madge, I've sat with you. You have a little go. We both have a little go now and then. But it's easy to just go, sit down, shut off, just watch the game. You're zoned in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm not really a singer.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's tough, but there'll be a lot of people like that. But you need the atmosphere in the ground to get the boys going.
I'm watching the game.
You've got to find the right balance, yeah. Snakes and Ladders, though. Sorry, Madge. Name of our podcast tonight. I think that's very fitting. That's what I told Louis to call it. Because it is like we're playing a game of Snakes and Ladders this year, isn't it?
Who's the snake?
What? The game.
Yeah, but who's the snake? I feel like there might be like an
No. Just saying, it's just the game. It's 2 steps forwards, 2 steps back. You go up the snake, you go down the ladder.
I know how
That's where
Snakes
we're
and
at.
Ladders
Well,
work.
do you? I don't know if you do, mate.
I do.
I don't know. I'll tell you what. Are you sure you was in Campion?
I know I'm in camping because I wouldn't use.
But I
such
think it's a
basic
decent.
title.
I think it's a. What would have been your name for the pod then? Come on, go on.
Huh?
What would have been your name for the pod?
I'll come up with one and I'll put
Here
it
we go.
up.
Sit on the fence like you did the Ireland one.
Speaking of Ireland, right? I've got the team. It was Bono in goal.
Oh, mate, knowledge.
We forgot Irwin. Dennis Irwin.
Dennis Irwin, yeah.
Phelan.
Yeah, Terry Phelan.
Yeah. Moran. McGrath.
Moran,
Keane.
former Spurs, wasn't he, Moran?
I'm not sure. Andy Townsend. Ray Houghton. Aldridge. Sheridan.
John Aldridge, player.
Staunton. Kelly. Babb. Coyne. Cascarino.
He was the fake Irishman, though, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He made out he was Irish and he weren't Irish.
McGoldrick. McAteer. What a manager. Charlton.
Yeah.
Good manager.
Won the World Cup, didn't he, with our lot, England, 66.
He did indeed. Right. Anyway.
Been fun, mate.
It has been fun.
Lou, do us a favour, change the name of that podcast.
Will the Gooner is the snake. Who's the snake? Hear so many people shout, effing sit down at the ground.
Yeah, you do.
Football's changed, man.
Do you know what as well? What I will say is as well, we've always had a little thing, right? Before the game, before the game, please get to your seat on time before the kickoff. At half time, I half get it. There might be a queue for the toilets. If you've decided to have a drink or you want to get something to eat, there might be a bit of queue. You get caught out, whatever. You might not finish. But before the game, there is no excuse. You have left your house today on that day with a mission to go to football. Why are you not there on time? I get it if you're delayed by transport or whatever, but if it's an option for you to just sit downstairs or get in purposely late, it's so annoying. And there's my little rant.
I'll tell you what, before I go, mate, some of the idiots you get on YouTube comments. You've seen the one that's gone a bit viral of me from Talk Sport? Some absolute
viral?
No, like how many views have done that? It's done about 43,000 views. I'm Managerial, right? Parts of Majestic Discuss, right?
I love how you just dropped the views in the amount.
So this geezer goes, I refuse to call a grown man Majestic. His real name is Kevin. So I've gone.
It's you know what he's got. Like, I'll call you Madge. Like, I should really call you Kevin. I've known you since you was like.
Yeah, but he goes. I went. Then don't call me Kev if it makes you feel any better. Everyone's giving me loads of thumbs up on it, and it's just these idiots.
It's just a natural thing. I call you now though. You're known more as Madge, like me. My name's Anthony. People call me Gazza.
Oh, big up Natalie.
You know what I mean?
Big up Natalie Stevenson, old school friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's jumped on and given it to some geezer called Carl. Yeah. Who said he looks like a right drip as well. She went, people in glass houses. I wouldn't mind being a drip then if I was absolutely smashing it like a match. Go on, Natalie. Big up to Natalie. Mate, honestly, the people in the... No, I only responded to that one, but I've got people back in the thing as well.
Anyway.
Then someone's like, Flex.
Sorry, guys, this is not the Mad Show. This is the Same Old Spurs podcast.
Featuring Majestic and Gazza. If there's any qualms you want to bring to the table, bring them.
Come on.
Anyway. Tell boy this is the old stadium. I do feel you on that.
Prawn sandwiches. There's no prawn sandwiches at the minute because you're on a diet.
No, I wasn't even up there though, was I?
That's what I'm saying. They're after a little prawn sandwich update.
Oh, no, I'll give you the update.
I might have to get up there and just have a little tour around and see what's up there.
Well, you'll be up there probably in a couple of weeks' time when I can't go.
Love that.
Right. Retired, literally, of Spurs.
Okay. Hey, he's read out all about his own show, his Talk Sport, his numbers he's getting on the Talk Sport thing. Then he's had enough, so he's going to leave you lot alone now.
Listen, right, I could be having my beef burger now.
Yeah.
It's on the diet plan this week. I've got burgers, yeah.
I'll tell you, you've slipped in them protein bars as well. You used to tell me when I used to go into a shop and pick up one of them protein bars, they're rubbish. Yep. My dietitian or whatever it is, he says, you might as well have a chocolate bar.
Yeah, you might as well.
When he dropped that into your diet plan this week, I've never seen anything like your eyes lit up.
At least I can have some
you
kind of
lit
chocolate.
up, look, and you know it as well. Look,
because it's
it was
nice.
Like, what? I can have a grenade. I'm so happy about this.
Because it's nice.
One of them. Sorry, I shouldn't swear, but it was hilarious.
Some of them nice.
It was hilarious.
All right, they are quite. Do you want one?
Yeah,
I've got a couple of
we'll celebrate.
Should we have one?
Yeah,
right. We're going to go for a grenade. Here's a grenade.
Gaz wants to go
bang.
home.
Gaz definitely. No, he's not turned up in his walkware either.
Dog, be nice to me.
You've got the jeans on again. You're going to go 5k walking there, are you?
Of course you don't.
Oh, dearie me. Luckily, I've done a good workout today.
Of course, I always do.
Thank you to Louis and Will and the team. We're going to be back next Monday. Are we going to be back for Monday's international break? Are we going to have a little break?
Well, up to you, mate. So whatever you're doing, you might be busy. You might have other.
No, we can have a pod. I'll tell you what we should do next week.
Yeah,
is we should get a guest and have a bit of just a discussion and do like
absolutely
top 11. Because I tell you what, here's a cheeky plug for you. I'm going to be back on TalkSport on Friday night alongside Jermaine Pennant and our good friend Hacks.
Yeah, what a funny guy.
Get Hacks on the show.
Yeah, get Hacks on the show because he's hilarious.
Yeah,
and he'd bring a lot of entertainment. That'd be a great guest.
But do you know what I'm going to do as a topic on Friday night? The all-time 11 ish houses of football.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you think of them in the top of your head? Who's like the most ultimate ish houses? Joey Barton's in there.
Yeah. Of recent times, Mopai.
Oh yeah, he's in there.
Mopai's up there. Richarlison to a point.
There's something there, but it's not proper.
Yeah, Mopai's the one for me at the minute.
He is.
Vardy's up there.
Vardy's up there.
Big time. It is your strike force, probably.
Yeah. Big Duncan Ferguson.
I don't know. I think he's just a scary giant. I've heard. Did you see that story with that? What's his name? Dyer. I was telling him about Pistoni.
Yeah.
They was playing in training, and Pistoni said something to him, and he literally stops. The whole training session was just like screwing Pistoni the whole session. But when outside the session carried on, he went in and went, "Get outside." Pistoni absolutely crapped himself. Yeah. Anyway, he got all thing, but he's just. Could you imagine him if you're putting a tackle in him late? Big problem.
I know. Anyway. Don't forget, follow us on Same Old Spurs Pod on all socials. And please, if you haven't already, press subscribe. There's about 30 of you left. If you haven't subscribed, go on. Let's see, out of the people that are watching right now, in the comments, be honest with me. Have you subscribed, yes or no?
It's only one button. Press it.
Yeah, press it. It's free to do. Go on, let us know if you've subscribed already. Let's see. I'm going to wait for those answers to come in. And then we will go off in our separate ways and have a grenade bar. Best grenade flavour?
The white one.
What, the white
All
chocolate?
day
cookie?
long.
Got it in there for you.
I'm not having any others.
There's Oreo next. Any Oreo?
Not for me.
Not for you. You know the best one I've had so far
Go on.
is the white salted peanut.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I bet you can't wait for it, innit?
I'm so hungry.
It's like, you know, the Willy Wonka one. You get your peel back.
Yeah, I fasted for 16 hours.
Doing well. Keep it up.
And then we had some salmon and rice. And
You
that.
look better as well.
You reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course you can.
Maybe this time next year on the pod, we're like all slender.
You will be. You will be.
I'll have a Gucci jacket on.
Look, mate. You know what? Your health's important, mate. So yeah, keep it going.
Well, Tottenham ain't no good for your health.
Exactly.
Look, London Football Goal Centre, yes. Justin, yes. Natasha, my sister, yes. When Spurs gets up, it's loud. Yes, Richard's right.
Shout out. That's true.
We are Richard. So come on, guys, press subscribe. We appreciate all of your subscription. And maybe we'll get to a place one day where we can both buy Gucci jackets from the podcast.
So yeah, well, there's only one person buying a Gucci jacket at the
You.
minute, and it's not me.
It's you.
Look at him.
I've
Look at the
heard.
gear you got on the Essentials top. You got all the new gear on. I know how it goes, mate. I know how it goes. If anyone's getting, I've seen your wardrobe, mate. I tell you what, you're a diva and a half.
I
mate.
can't fit in most of it.
That's all right.
Salted caramel, best flavour. Obviously, subscribe. Thank you, George. Yeah, salted caramel is good, but it's the white salted caramel with peanut. Peanut. Right, from Majestic Gazza, we're off for a grenade.
Up the Spurs.
We're not sponsored by Grenade.
The Same Old Spurs podcast with Majestic and Gazza.